Hey guys, welcome back to the Construction Veteran Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Friend. Thanks again if you're watching this from YouTube. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcast, please head over to YouTube, check it out if you want to see the video. So last Monday Musing, we talked about all the different roles within the construction industry in the military. We didn't go too much into depth on the civilian side. So in the private sector, man, the possibilities again are so endless. But I don't want to focus specifically on one of those. I want to focus on, well, how the heck do I get involved in construction, period? So if you're someone that likes to work with their hands, likes to see something built, there's so many trades out there that you guys can get involved in. Most of these trades have an opportunity to get involved in an apprenticeship program. Well, whether that's union, non-union, a lot of the companies nowadays, because we need tradespeople so bad, they will pay for your schooling to go. Now, depending on what trade it is, will dictate how long that schooling is. But usually this is maybe 1, 2, or more nights a week that you go spend a couple hours learning that trade and learning how to become a journeyman after your apprenticeship. So there is a testing process involved to get to that journeyman level, but your apprenticeship is the best time to learn. Now, you're working during this time too, which is great. So we've got a ton of apprentices on many jobs that I'm on. I like to talk to them when I take them through my safety orientation to say, how long have you been in the trade? How long have you been in your apprenticeship? Or I'll say, what year are you? And it's neat to see the progression, especially folks that I've worked with for many years. I like to see when they get to that next level. So that's really personally rewarding for me to get to see that. And obviously it's much more rewarding for them as an individual. So that's specific to the trades. And there's other routes to that as well. Maybe you just want to get on board with a company, learn a little bit about that trade before you decide, hey, I want to go ahead and make this my trade. I would really encourage that, actually. So I am a carpenter by trade, but I've told people, hey, if I were to go back and do it again, nothing against carpentry at all, but I really like welding. I've got my own couple of welding machines in my garage. I'm not very good at it, but I try, and it's just something that I really enjoy. There's also a lot of money involved in welding, but that's if you're willing to travel, or there's good jobs close to home too, depending on where you're at, I'm sure. But find out what trade that you want to do. I would speak to someone within the trades to see, hey, be honest with me. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Because not every trade is great, right? I mean, you see a lot of the upsides, right? You see the money that you can make from it. You see the nice clean jobs. However, you don't see some of those 2 o'clock in the morning calls where you got to go fix something. And that's going to be different every single trade. So my encouragement to you is maybe just stop by a job site. Maybe find the local union hall. Guarantee there's someone that knows someone. But you have to be the one that's brave enough, I'll say, to step out of your comfort zone and go find someone. Now, if you do that, man, that speaks volumes to the foreman or the person that might be your boss. That's really encouraging to see that person that's hungry. We all want somebody that's hungry and, hey, they want to learn this. Because a lot of us in this industry, we find great joy in going back and teaching someone something that we learned ourselves. So we're in this position that, hey, I can go back and train them. Hey man, here's all the stuff that I learned. Here's what to do and what not to do. So that's really exciting for a lot of us that are in leadership in this industry. Okay, so say maybe you don't want to be in the trades. Say you want to go into an administrative role. So that could be anything, man. That could be project management. That could be quality control. That could be safety. So you might not want to be in the field, or you might want to choose something that's kind of a hybrid, a field and office job, like quality control, I think would be a good example. There's a lot of stuff out there that are jobs that are sort of the hybrid. But my encouragement in that is kind of the same thing. Find somebody that's within the industry. Get a mentor. Humble yourself enough to find someone and say, this is what I want to do. And again, those people want to see people that are hungry as well. That brings them a lot of joy, because we all want to find that person that we can transfer our knowledge to, I think. A lot of people in this industry, especially in a leadership position, we're very A-type, we're very driven, but we like to share that knowledge with another individual that is excited about the trade like we are. Especially if you've made this your career, you're passionate about it, you want to share it. Finally, another way, get on LinkedIn. Man, that's such a good way to meet people. Get on LinkedIn. I've shared with you guys before, that was how I started my journey, is I got on LinkedIn. I found a couple of networking events, and I mentioned there's apps out there like Meetup, I think is one, or Google, certain types of groups that are doing this stuff within the industry, and just go meet people. It's super uncomfortable at first. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I might sound like I'm this like extrovert, let's go meet everybody, but I promise you, when I first meet somebody or I first go into a crowd, I'm super nervous. I'm very anxious. And speaking to my vets out there, man, it's a tough situation sometimes, especially if you've gone through any sort of TBI, PTSD. Like, there's that level of anxiety that comes with it. However, there are groups out there that are ready and willing to take you on board and under their wing. Local to Dallas, there are some fantastic groups of people in, high up in leadership that are ready to take on the veterans that are transitioned out of the service or new to the area and put them with great people that are awesome mentors within many different industries. But there's a lot of them that are in construction that, man, they're heavy hitters. So again, you can reach out to me. Find me on LinkedIn at Scott Friend. Shoot me an email at constructionvetpodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to respond. I'd love to help you network with somebody. There are also veteran networking groups. Veterati is one. If you're coming from a special operations background, there's the Honor Foundation that you can get involved with as well. So these are companies that are growing, and it's free, totally free. That's another thing that's great about it. I get texts every now and again from Veterati that someone has put me on their leadership or mentorship board. I forget what they call it. But they've added me, and a couple folks have called me, and I just give them advice. Hey man, here's the situation that you're in. I would encourage you, if you can get face-to-face, do that. There's a lot of value in that, getting face-to-face with that individual so they can see the emotions. It's super uncomfortable on a FaceTime, but you can do that too. But, you can have a phone call. Man, I'd say as a last resort, do the email exchange or text exchange, because there's just not as much passion that's shared over the text or the email. So get face-to-face with somebody, share your passions. Here's what I want to do. And most of us that have been successful in this industry are excited about helping you along that journey because someone gave us an opportunity. So you can go around to job sites. You can go to networking events. I did that. That's how I got where I am today. I told you I made my business cards, which it seems silly, but I was like, man, I'm just going to take a chance. And so I kind of sucked it up and I executed and completed my mission, and here I am. So a lot of folks out there will say, hey, it's nerve-wracking to come from the battlefield to come into the private sector working environment. But guys, we've all gone through it. We know what it feels like to make that transition into the workforce, and it's uncomfortable. I get it. It's very difficult, especially if you're coming from 17, 18 years of age and it's all you've ever known, or you're coming straight out of college or a military academy of some sort, and that's all you've ever known for your young adult life. So guys, I would encourage you to find mentors. That's huge in this industry. Much like you would in the service, you find that more senior NCO or some individual to really take you under their wing. These people are out there. You just had to find them. They're not going to go out reaching for you. Now, some of us will. Things like this podcast. We try to take the opportunity to say, hey, we're here. Utilize us. So if you're not going out and reaching the people and you're saying, nobody wants to help, that's on you, big dog. There's people ready to help you. But if you're not willing to step out, nobody's going to help you out. So you need to go find those groups, find those individuals. And I'm sorry if that was a tough pill to swallow, but a lot of it is on you to take that first step. You don't have to know every single step along the way to make it to where you want to go. But it is on you to take that very first step and find someone within that industry. Utilize LinkedIn. It's such a great tool to find people within your area and just take a shot. I've had people reach out to me direct that I don't even know. I've never met them. We don't have mutual contacts. However, I thought it was pretty gutsy that they'd reach out to a guy they don't even know to say, hey, I need help. And this is not just veterans too. I'd encourage those of you within the industry already that if you want to take your career to the next level, the best thing that you can do is find someone in the position that you want to be in take a step back. I would obviously share within your own company, hey, this is something I want to do, and see if that's something that they would like to support. Unless you're verbalizing this stuff, nobody's a mind reader. They're not going to know. So you have to share your passions. It's uncomfortable. I forced myself to do this. It's uncomfortable putting yourself out there. Not going to lie. Was I nerve-wracked the first podcast I recorded? Absolutely. However, the feedback that I've gotten has been mostly positive. I'm meeting some great people within the industry, and it's all because I took the first step and said, man, this is something I want to do. It's something I'm passionate about. Will you join me in the journey? And I've had a lot of folks rally around and really help out and support. And it's that humility to say, I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know you know, and I'm going to ask for your help. Would you help me out? The worst thing someone can say is no. That's it. The worst thing that they could say is no. So if you're asking someone for assistance, hey, I would really like to learn more about this, the worst thing they could say is no. Well, guess what? More than likely, if you're looking for a certain person within the industry, they're probably not the only person to do that. Surprise, right? I mean, unless you're trying to buy a basketball team, right? Go talk to the Mavs. Unless you're doing something that crazy or something that big. People within this industry, there's just a myriad of them. Unless you're doing something very niche, right? There's probably a bunch of people out there that you can at least get connected somehow. So my encouragement to you is get out there, get the hustle on, find someone that can help you out, guys. So I appreciate it. Guys, if you want to be on the podcast, email me at constructionvetpodcast.com. Find me on LinkedIn at Scott Friend. Let's chat. Let's help spread the message of vets, and let's get you going.